Hi, I'm Eric Schmidt, and I write about music for Dirt. A classic American rock band descended from alternative country pioneers Uncle Tupelo, Son Volt reformed this year with a new lineup and released its first album in 7 years, titled Okima and the Melody of Riot. In this interview, bandleader Jay Farrar talks about the American history behind his new record, and how sometimes it's good to get back to basics. Son Volt plays at the Boulder Theater October 11th.
Maybe, I guess the logical way to start is just with the details. Like, can you kind of walk me through, like, you know, how you came to reform Son Volt with this new lineup and how that's worked out playing with new people?
I guess, starting originally with the solos records and recording, I was looking for a change of pace and a different challenge, coming off early Son Volt years where, we were touring pretty much all the time, it seemed like, and recording in between.
Right.
And that kind of coincided with the fact that I was, starting a family around that period, so I was looking to scale back a little bit, and, the prospect of making solo records just sort of represented a different challenge and something that I wanted to try. And then after putting out 3 solo records, began to sort of miss the band dynamic, and getting back to playing electric, because I've primarily been playing acoustic solo shows, which glad that I did. I learned a lot about just performing in general, really, playing songs stripped down to the bare essentials of the song. But I was looking to get the band back together, and the first idea seemed to be a reunion, which we had been apart for at least 4 years, I think. And we did one song for Alejandro Escovedo tribute record, which was, a good experience all around, I think, and that sort of made it seem like we could continue on and do more. In retrospect, that pretty much wound up being it. I'm glad that doing that song for the Alejandro tribute record happened. I think it was a good last note, a good way for us to end it. You probably know the rest of the story. People essentially changed, I think, over the course of 4 or 5 years of, different commitments, different priorities, I think. And so essentially I called some friends for help, Dave Bryson, the drummer, played on the last solo record, Don't Stay on Bright Lights. Andrew Duplantis, I've known for about 10 years. He played open for Son Volt in several different incarnations. One was his own project, Sin Palo, and he also was playing with Alejandro Escovedo, alter ego band Buick McCain, which opened some shows for Son Volt as well.
So how does this new lineup, for your songwriting and for the sound of the band, how does it compare to the old one, and what's it changed about the band?
Whenever there's different players involved, I think the sound kind of naturally evolves, because everyone brings their own unique playing style and their own musical backgrounds to the mix. And that's kind of what I think has been, it's been something that I've enjoyed on this record is just, it's just hearing what these guys are capable of, not knowing exactly, what they're going to play or where they're drawing their musical influences from. So, that aspect of it has been great and continues to be on tour.
Right. And that's interesting because, for that evolution with new people, would I be right to say that, this record sounds a lot kind of like the old old style Sun Volt than anything that you've been doing in the meantime. Is that
right?
Right. So is that like kind of a conscious idea to sort of bring it back to like that good kind of rock record that you guys have done before?
And having done the solo records, which sort of represented more of a stepping out, of trying, either instrumentation that I hadn't used before, whether it was, a sitar or electronic sampled sounds,
right.
that was all kind of fair game. Whereas with Sunvolt, I was looking to get back to essentially just more of a basic setup of guitars, bass, drums, taking it from there. Maybe more of a fundamental setup and just trying to capture the live energy that can be associated with the fundamental setup like that.
Okay. And on this album, I kind of like, I guess I wouldn't be the first either, but you hear a lot of, kind of references to different traditions in one way or another, whether it's, like talking about American music, like Woody Guthrie, talking back about, like vinyl records, or even, back in the kind of old sort of sound of Sun Volt. I guess is that right? First of all, and like what's the interest in kind of history and tradition for you?
I guess that's just a personal thing for me. If we're talking about 78s, it's just something that I've come across and tried it out, and it just kind of blew me away to be able to listen to old blues 78s the way people must have heard them originally, where there's kind of an otherworldly quality to them that you don't get on the CD version. But I guess there wasn't any overall aesthetic that I was going for, thematically or lyrically. It was just maybe, unless it was just getting back to the basics or getting back to more of a fundamental sound. Coming off the solo recordings, I was kind of trying out different instruments and layering stuff, and I guess I was just kind of looking to get away from that.
Okay. And I know that the word like Americana is like a word that kind of gets thrown around a lot, but I mean I would almost think like literally you guys you're singing about America, you're singing about American music, and heard a lot of in your reviews about how this is kind of what American music sounds like, and wondering like what do you see as American music?
I guess to a certain degree that's true. I mean, because